A warm good morning to all. It's my privilege to be part of the 7th International Conference on Interdisciplinary Research for Sustainable Development, organized by International Institute of Organized Research in association with Green Thinkers India, Center for Modern Construction, Western Sydney University, Australia, Sustainable Cosmos, Susco's Academy, and Intelligent India. At the outset, I congratulate the organizers for having chosen a topic pertaining to the current scenario, that is UN's Sustainable Development Goals 2030. And I also thank you profusely for choosing me as a keynote speaker for this prestigious conference. I am here to share a few points on quality concerns in higher education through a short video presentation. We are all aware that India stands third in the number of higher education institutions in the world. America and China precede India in this regard. So before we begin this session, I would like to share a few points about the quality, the significance of quality. Quality is a buzzword nowadays in the current scenario in all walks of life. We talk about quality in every field. When we purchase a product, we talk about quality. We talk about the quality of food, quality of products, quality of education. And when we come to the present topic, that is quality concerns in higher education, it is quite unfortunate or unwelcome thing to imagine that there has been a phenomenal growth in higher educational institutions. There is a mushroom growth of higher educational institutions. Of course, there has been phenomenal growth in the field of in this field since independence. But what is happening with the mushroom growth of higher educational institutions? Quality is being ignored. That is the most disappointing and unfortunate thing, which is not to be discussed, of course, but we are compelled to focus on this to give some inputs regarding the measures to be taken regarding the preservance of quality and various other factors. But the matter of concern is the numerical increase of the educational institutions. It's not in consonance with the quality. There is a lot of alarm about the quality concerns, which is discernible in all spheres of life, of course. But what is quality? How can we measure it? How can we determine? Quality is nothing but it's a yardstick for distinguishing the ordinary from the extraordinary, good from the bad, and reliable from the unreliable. And it is gauged or measured in terms of the set standards for producing any product, for bringing out any product into the market. It is set in terms of the standards. Standards are to be followed before producing any product which we make use of them in day-to-day life. Everyone craves for quality, of course. Nobody denies it, whether it be a product or education. Pining for quality or craving for quality is not uncommon in all walks of life. And the domain of education is no exception. There is a confusion among most of the parents nowadays, which educational institution is to be chosen for admitting their children, right from lower classes to the higher classes, higher education institutions. This confusion is to be erased among the parents. This is happening only because of some lacunas in the field of education. The damaging consequences of neglecting the quality are ignored or bypassed in the field of higher education. Once quality is set aside, once quality is ignored, the consequences or the repercussions will be very much disappointing and damaging. People are giving vent to the commercial mode of seeking education. It is quite discouraging and unfortunate on the part of the stakeholders of higher education. Education and health, these are not to be made commercial. Once commercial mode of thinking and seeking them enters the arena, the people will be affected to a great extent. This phenomenon is quite harmful and pernicious to the whole system. It will also affect the growth of the nation. This is to be borne in mind. There is a void between the learners and parents, the expectations and the in the expectations and the reception. There's a wide gap between what they expect and what they receive. It is a kind of cheating and exploitation, of course. Parents should be guaranteed with regard to the education. Once they seek admission in an educational institution, the returns are also very much important. Once the returns are not fulfilled, once their dreams are not fulfilled, the very purpose of admitting them in an educational institution is quite futile. There's a dire need nowadays in the present scenario to bridge this kind of gap between these two factors, expectations and their own returns. And there is also a responsibility on the part of the stakeholders to erase the recurring tension, fear, or confusion among the seekers of higher education and parents. And why this kind of quality is derailed? Conformity to the standard of virtue and excellence is lacking nowadays. Excellence and virtue, perfection, these three are very important factors. One should aim for perfection, and virtuous qualities required. One should aspire for excellence, whether it be a teacher or a learner. Virtue, perfection, and excellence, they ensure quality. This happens with even with regard to the products also. They're all, it is to be remembered, borne in mind that they are related to ethical values. Once we stick to perfection, virtue, and excellence, it implies that we abide by ethical values. Once these qualities are set aside, once these factors are not taken into consideration, there is a breach to the moral values. Inculcating moral values through education is essential for the growth of the nation. Education, as most of the seekers of education feel, is not meant for employment alone. It has got a very broad meaning. Education implies enlightenment, awareness about each and every factor in all walks of life. And for seeking this kind of thing, they have to be imbibed from the beginning itself. They have to be inculcated among the learners since the beginning of seeking education itself. Only then they can become part of life. Moral values, and which include virtue, perfection, and excellence, are part of life. Once there is a breach to these moral values, commercial mode of thinking will definitely come out. The degree and amount of quality, it is widely necessitated in all walks of life. There's a concern about quality in all, wherever we happen to go, wherever we happen to move in the present society. Virtue and excellence, they embody a perfect and meaningful living. Once we stick to these qualities and factors, once we abide by these virtues, we are likely to lead a very meaningful life. The ultimate goal of education is to lead a meaningful life. It should be borne in mind even by the teachers also. It is the duty and responsibility of the teachers to see that a meaningful living, a meaningful style of living is passed on to the learners and seekers of education also. Where there is virtue, where there is excellence, where there is perfection, quality is perceivable in bountifulness. Every product, if we take an example, every product undergoes a very thorough scientific scrutiny before they release into the market. If something goes wrong with regard to the quality of a product, what happens? The very company will be affected. And whether the company is affected or not, that is immaterial, of course. It is the people who are going to be affected, and it is people who are going to be damaged with whatever kind of product that is released into the market. Standards are to be adhered and they are to be monitored. And only after having monitored and sticking to these standards, once the product is unfolded, it ensured that no problems will ensue surface or with regard to the quality. If this thorough scrutiny doesn't take place, what happens? We happen to listen, we happen to watch a number of things in the society now, how the products are quite spurious. We talk about spurious drugs, we talk about unfair and unfair means which are being adopted with regard to the product of different kinds of essential commodities also. It is the people, consumers and customers who are affected. Imagine what kind of damage will be done when the same quality is ignored in higher education. The, the implications of all these kinds of things, the damaging consequences of the derailment of quality in higher education cannot be explained in words. It is beyond our imagination. The very discussion on quality was confined to household products earlier, but unfortunately, it has also crept into the education in general and higher education in particular. And it is quite unfortunate to listen and watch and see and observe that the higher education, quality education, is not in the reach of common man. Most of the common people or who are below the poverty line, they cannot afford to reach the kind of fees that is being collected in the higher education institutions and quality education. The term education implies, as I have just quoted, enlightenment, awareness, and broad outlook. It is a methodical learning process by the trained teachers in an institution. Training of the teachers is important, and the overall atmosphere, ambience is important in the institution also. This term is measured in terms of the overall development of the learners. How can we assume, how can we come to a conclusion that an educational institution is of good quality? It is measured in terms of the overall development of the learners. Learners are the seekers of education, are the right judges as to decide which educational institution maintains such standards. It is possible only through a well-planned curriculum and various other training activities which are to be undertaken in the educational institutions. Teaching, learning, and training, research are interconnected with one another. Teaching and training. Most of the seekers of education or the teachers have no idea as to what teaching implies. Teaching and training and research, they always go hand in hand. They always go hand in hand. They're all always interconnected with one another. They cannot be dissociated. Much focus on the quality of these core areas is to be laid, and they are quite essential and necessary. Their role is vital in transforming the students and learners. Quality is acquired only through ethical values, as I have just said. And there are various things to be quoted here, of course. Time constraints don't permit me to talk about all these kinds of things. It is acquired through a formula, no compromise formula, whether it be a product or education. We should not compromise at any cost as far as quality is concerned. It is to be followed at every stage. The mushroom growth of private institutions poses a problem nowadays. There are, of course, we cannot find fault with them. There are certain institutions, private institutions, of course, which maintain set standards. But it is not the case in all institutions. There is no proper check on the sanctions of the colleges, sanctions of the schools and educational institutions and universities also. Profits are taken to be the only criteria by the management. When the profit motto enters the field of education, automatically, naturally, the consequences will be quite damaging. And once we surrender to commercial mode of thinking, the consequences will be damaging, and it is to be brought back, it is to be maintained only through a well-planned curriculum. Curriculum, of course, it is set by each and every university through the experts, of course. But there is always, nowadays in the present scenario, a wide gulf is being found between planning and implementation. Policies are quite good, of course. Planning is quite good, of course. But there is no proper check on materialization, implementation. Implementation is more important than planning. Mere planning doesn't work here. Qualified and skilled faculty, they will definitely meet the requirements in the current competitive era. But in most of the educational institutions, this qualified and skilled faculty are lacking. It is this that quality is lagging behind. Identification of the potential excellence in colleges and universities is to be done. There are some noted private institutions, of course, which always follow. They're always potential with regard to the excellence, with regard to the perfection, with regard to quality. And thus, a networking system is to be followed, networking of all the universities. And faculty also need a lot of training, a lot of exposure to the current trends, current methodology which is being adopted in each and every subject, developments that are taking place in each and every, and to inculcate these things, to develop these kinds of things, faculty development programs will work out well. And focus on research is to be laid. A lot of research culture is to be developed among the students. Once research culture is developed from lower classes itself, they will definitely aspire for quality. And when we take up, of course, quality is something, it's a relative term, of course. Quality is related to various other factors, which include the infrastructure qualities, the profiles of the faculty are also important, quality teacher is also important, outreach activities, innovative thinking, thinking out of the box. Each and every faculty, each and every, of course, seeker of education or the teacher or trainer or anything, researcher or anything, thinking out of the box. They have to think out of the box. And they should also keep the demand of the society. What kind of needs are there and how they are being met through educational institutions. But unfortunately, these things are not taken into consideration. Mere physical number, enrollment of the students. Enrollment of the students itself does not mean that it is a good institution. What output, what is the outcome of the students is to be taken into consideration. Mere enrollment doesn't serve the purpose. What are the outcomes of the programs conducted? Outcomes should be given utmost importance in each and every educational institution. But it is a thing of misfortune that this outcome is not taken into consideration. And mere placements also don't decide. Placements are, of course, very important. How placements, the number of placements, based on the number of placements, an educational institution is said to be a standard educational institution. But mere placements alone don't decide or determine the quality of an institution. There are various other factors to be taken into consideration. As I have just quoted, just said, outcome. A student who is coming out of the institution may seek a job or he may become something else. A lot of research is to be done on this kind of thing. But most of the universities, most of the education institutions, these outcomes are not being observed. They take only the enrollment of the students on one hand and placements on the other side. Based on these two things only, an institution is said to be a standard institution. I opine, or according to my opinion, this is not the only criterion, but various other research activities, out, outreach activities, innovative thinking. When these things are taken into consideration, they will definitely boost the confidence among the students and help them enrich themselves. Quality teaching is expected only through quality teachers. It's an accepted fact, of course. When the teacher doesn't have quality, the expectation of quality on the part of the students is quite in vain, of course. Quality teaching is possible only when, unfortunate thing, of course, which is not to be discussed in conferences like this, but it's an open secret which requires a lot of debate and discussion. In most of the educational institutions, caste, creed, community, they are taken into consideration and priority is given for the selection of the faculty based on caste, creed, or community. I doubt always why a teacher is to be measured, why caste, creed, or community are to be taken as the yardstick for selecting a faculty. The selection of a faculty should be only on the basis of merit, not on the basis of all these kinds of things. It's not to blame caste, creed, or community, of course, but keeping the current scenario, keeping the growth of the nation. For the growth of the nation, merit alone will work. The ultimate aim of seeking education is to help the nation enrich itself in all fields of life. It is possible only through merit. The process of recruitment in the faculty, in the universities, is quite unscientific now. As I have just quoted, caste, creed, and community are taken into consideration. There is nothing wrong in uplifting them. I don't find fault with that policy, of course. As far as education is concerned, any kind of facilities can be provided to them. We don't find fault. They have to develop socially, economically, financially, in all aspects, of course, for providing education till they reach the higher education stage. Government can encourage, government can provide all kinds of facilities. Nobody will deny this kind of fact. But as far as the selection of faculty is concerned, it should be done only on the basis of merit. I feel this will definitely work out for maintaining standards. Selection of faculty should be done only on the basis of national level tests. Now, in each and every state university, this is not being followed. A national level examination should be conducted. In addition to this NET examination, SLET examination, national eligibility test and state level eligibility test, only exclusively for the selection of the faculty. A national level test should be conducted based on the merit, as we follow in what we for medicine, for admission into medicine, NITs and IITs, JEE examination, NEET examination. What is followed should also be followed for this kind of recruitment in the faculty also. That is, when this is taken up, what happens? A faculty may be from any state. There won't be any kind of local politics in state universities. Then it will definitely boost the confidence among the faculty members and the university also. Standards will definitely be maintained through this process. And another important thing which is to be taken into consideration is a constant check is also important. Now, in the current scenario, what is happening, of course, an individual change is primary. Individual should change. But for changing the individual. A check on the resourcefulness and the performance of the faculty is mandatory. Constant check is very essential at every stage. Only then he will update his knowledge. Merit alone and no other factors should be taken into consideration for the maintenance of quality, and constant checks, they will definitely work out well. Scrutiny, quality teaching will definitely determine the growth of the nation. Teaching is not a classroom activity alone. The teaching that is going to take place in the classroom is also going to decide the growth of the nation. The ultimate aim of seeking education is to help the country grow in all fields, scientifically, financially, economically, socially, culturally, or in any other factor. That is the ultimate purpose of seeking education. And this is what I wanted to share through this short video according to the standards set by the organizers of this conference, a prestigious conference. I am very much thankful for all the organizers of this conference, a very well-known conference. And thank you very much for giving me this wonderful opportunity. Thank you.